Patrick Ewing said, expect a little hand-to-hand combat here this afternoon. The starting lineups now presented by Jeep Grand Cherokee. A big lift for the Hoyas. They get the guard Mac McClung back from a sprained ankle. The freshman Akinjo is becoming a star in the league. It's been a struggle for Ed Cooley's Friars, though, to find another scorer to complement Alpha Diallo since A.J. Reeves got hurt. He needs somebody to step up in a big way in D.C. today.
Absolutely. And Mac McClung, the freshman dynamic guard in the backcourt with Akinjo, was playing great before he got hurt. A dynamic athlete, really good at attacking the rim. He gives him another backcourt guy with Akinjo that can push the pace.
Well, Georgetown 11-5. Providence College at 10-5. The Hoyas in the home whites, and we are set for the opening tip. And we are underway in a scrap for that immediately, controlled by the Friars. And a quick strike as they get it inside to Nate Watson, the 6'10 sophomore for two.
And that's the focal point early. They want to get Nate Watson early paint touches. They feel like he can beat Govan up the court. That's how the Friars want to start.
Akinjo, as we mentioned, he's becoming a real presence in the league as a freshman point guard. McClung inside for the first two, and that's a good sign for the Hoyas.
It is, because you can see his ankle is okay. Nice burst, that quick first step allowed him to get in the paint. He's at his best when he's driving to the rim.
Coach Ewing talking with us before the game, and he said that it's going to be interesting to see what his fitness is like. He knows that he practiced well all week. The first one off target there by Diallo. But how strong and how long he'll be able to go will be very interesting from a Georgetown perspective.
Providence starting out in man-to-man, and Georgetown trying to play through the paint first.
Pickett with a miss in tight. Duke held on to it and laid it in.
Well, he's a big guard at 6'4", does a good job of pushing tempo, and that long reach of his allowed him to get to the basket.
Georgetown coming up back-to-back losses to St. John's in overtime and Xavier this week. That was a close one as well, 81-75. Those two losses by a combined 9 points. Watson not this time with the left hand.
That's the look they want. They want to get Watson the ball in the paint early, especially in transition.
Akinjo with a little jumper around and out. He comes in averaging 14 points. More importantly, 4 assists per game. The top assist team in the Big East is actually Georgetown.
So Akinjo is just a really, really good point guard. Just a freshman that's taken over the leadership role of this team, and Pat Ewing trusts him in his decision-making. And with McClung back in the backcourt now, he gives him more freedom to create.
Downstairs again intended for Watson off his leg and out of play.
Here we'll see the nice play by McClung, and again, he wants to take the ball off the bounce, especially when you close out at a bad angle. And then the other freshman, Duke, just pushing the tempo, using his size to get to the rim. And Georgetown, obviously, they want to try to get Govan going early. I think they're going to play him single coverage and not double him, but they want to get him the ball in the paint.
Akinjo slamming on the brakes. McClung will catch, fire, and drain it as he knocks back a three.
You see the two-man action between Akinjo and McClung. The penetration by Akinjo frees up McClung, and when McClung is hitting his threes, Dave, he's a different player.
Only 24% for the season, but known to be out of high school a great shooter. They're waiting for that greatness to really kick in. Here's Diallo way downtown with the answer.
Well, Alpha Diallo is the best player on this Friar team. Leads them in scoring, rebounding, and assists. And he's a guy that just makes big plays when his team needs it. Has improved his versatility with that step-out three.
Held to 10 points by Villanova in that defeat. So, you know that's on his shoulders today to bounce back. Govan on the catch and take it away. Here comes Diallo working on McClung one-on-one. Lost the handle and out of play. Well, Ed Cooley on his 8th year at Providence College as the head coach, halfway to a 6th consecutive 20-win season. 5 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. And what you love about both of these head coaches, they are as honest and as candid about their teams as it gets. Around and out by McClung. He got a good look at a three, had it sized up, but he missed it. Watson with a catch on the block. Working on Govan. Trying to spin underneath, and that's going to be goaltending. Got that basket.
Well, the footwork by Watson and a good pass, continuing to get the ball down low to Nate. He's finishing it early.
Patrick Ewing's 2nd season. He's the Georgetown head coach. And trying to snap a little skid here. Just 5 and 13 in the Big East last year. And that's something that the big fella Govan can do. 43% beyond that three-point line.
And that's the set play they run for Govan. A nice little pick and pop. And you're right, Dave. He's very comfortable at the top of the key, stretching the floor. Probably the most versatile big in the Big East Conference.
Averaging 23 points a game in conference play so far for Georgetown. There's White with a pull-up top, not there for him.
Georgetown's also playing a man-to-man, and trying to keep the ball out in the paint is the focus for them as well. Trying to make Providence a perimeter team.
Govan thought about it again. Akinjo on the drive, scoops it up and in on a foul as well. He'll be at the line.
Well, Akinjo with the quick first step, the hesitation dribble, and the freshman continues to attack both these guys, McClung and Akinjo, the dynamic freshman backcourt, making it happen.
This isn't a great sight for Providence fans. A.J. Reeves still in a boot on that left foot, but they're hoping, Tariq, within the next couple of weeks, that'll be off and he'll be back in there.
Well, he's their best player, and even though he's just a freshman, he's gotten the attention of the whole league with this ability to shoot the ball. Not just a shooter, a big-time guard, playmaker, can play on or off the ball, and they sorely miss his presence, hoping to get him back healthy.
A three-point play for Akinjo. Ashton Langford now in the ballgame for Providence. He's coming off a tremendous game individually as he had 20. Diallo in tight for 2.
Well, that started with White keeping his dribble, a nice pro dribble out of the trap to avoid the double team, and White with the wraparound pass, and that's how you attack the pressure.
Well, he's trying to work it close inside. It'll roll off the iron, and a whistle with 15-19 to go here in the first half. Back to Diallo and White on the other end.
Well, Georgetown tried to trap him, and Malik White kept his dribble and drew the defense in, and then a nice cut by Diallo. Very smart play by the junior, cutting to the rim.
He's smart in a lot of ways, and about as smooth as it gets. As far as the all-around game, 17 points, 9 rebounds, almost 4 assists per game for Alpha Diallo.
He's a very versatile player and does a lot for his team to win. Very important is his leadership.
White with a 3 that spins out for PC. They did not shoot it well at all in that last defeat against Villanova. They were dreadful, in fact. 6 out of 25 from three-point land. That has to be better today. Akinjo will launch.
And Providence doing a good job defensively, holding Georgetown to one and done.
Diallo can't get that one from three-point territory. Usually very reliable, 39%. On the line, and the Hoyas will turn it over. Malinowski right on that sideline.
This Providence team is still trying to find their identity offensively. As you look at the snapshot, 0-2 in the Big East, and they never lose at home back-to-back. So this is a new experience for Ed Cooley, but part of it is the youth. Obviously, having so many young guys, 4 freshmen, he is teaching these guys on the fly how to win and how to battle through adversity.
He said he wants to see how they react, and on days like today, in a tough environment, Georgetown also scrapping for a victory, how the youngsters react and trying to coach them to a victory here this afternoon. Young will knock it in.
Khalif Young coming off the bench now, and Nate Watson is now starting, but Young, not known for his offense, more of a defender, but when he gets his feet set and he can take his time, he can knock down that mid-range jumper.
You're right, he had started 14 games this season, tiptoeing through the lane. Pickett will lay it in, the 6'8" sophomore.
Well, he has to play better. Pickett, the long athleticism, and again, Providence continues to beat Georgetown down the floor. That's the 3rd time they've gotten past Govan and pushing the tempo with that look-ahead pass.
Well, you pointed that out early. It certainly seems to be the game plan. Get down the floor before Govan can recover and beat them to the hoop.
They want to make him work on both ends. He's such a good offensive player, but if you can distract him by making him work defensively, they can limit his offense.
That's going to be an offensive foul. They'll get Pickett for that personal with 13:25 to go in the half.
Georgetown second team.
Ashton Langford did a nice job of sliding over and taking that charge and rotating defensively, so important to the Providence defense.
I mentioned that Georgetown passes the ball so effectively. They have young guards, and yet they're very willing passers.
Well, that's part of Pat Ewing's system. They want to move the ball, make the extra pass, and also make the simple play. Sometimes it's easier to pass it to an open man than over-dribbling.
Jackson on the wing, trying to bounce back from a very tough shooting game against Villanova. He was 0 for 6 from 3. Shot clock down to 8 now for Providence College. Diallo has it knocked away, wins it back to the paint strong, and he scores.
Well, Diallo's that kind of player. When he gets an angle, he's going to attack the rim. That's his strength. At 6'6", 6'7", he's stronger, and he also has the body control to get in between two defenders and finish.
He has 7 points. He has a way of cleaning up an ugly play and making it look pretty.
Yes, he does, and that is a skill.
Mosley in now up top for Akinjo. He'll drive it on Young. Going up against the big. He's the nice. Shot clock down to 6. Now down to 4. Akinjo will drive high off the window for 2.
Well, that's what makes him so good. He can make the tough shots, and that's something you don't see a lot from a freshman. They close out on him, and he hits a nice runner high off the glass to avoid the block shot.
Truly a freshman in name only, though.
Absolutely. He's been probably the best freshman in the Big East so far.
Yeah, great maturity. Here's Young.
Here's that flex offense by Providence that they like to run in the half court.
Diallo's 14-footer and a sweet touch.
Diallo gets that separation off the down screen, and he came off that screen hard with one thing in mind, elevate and shoot. Nice play.
Alpha Diallo off to a great start for Providence. He has 9 points here in the first half. Akinjo slamming on the brakes again. And that's going to be an offensive foul. With 11:42 to go.
A nice job by Ashton Langford with the block. And Diallo taking over the game early, being that leader that Cooley needs him to be. Akinjo, the freshman, showing that touch off the glass, making plays for his team in the backcourt. The first 5 minutes, they didn't score. So that's been the biggest concern. Not their defense, but can they score the ball? Can they make open shots? Alpha Diallo's been the catalyst so far.
Plays with some backcourt pressure. Ashton Langford trying to bring it across and does get it up to Jackson. Jackson went for the pass and deflected away by Johnson. And now the Hoyas want to try and run, but they'll give it right back and scooped up by Drew Edwards.
The scramble play, both teams still trying to recover their footing on that sequence, but taking care of the basketball is so important when you're trying to find a win.
Diallo turns and fires. He's off to a hot start, but that one barely nicked the iron.
Malinowski now in the game, coming off the bench, has played a big role the last few games with McClung out of the lineup.
And he has been the go-to guy from three-point land, hitting 47%. Tie up on the play. Possession arrow will keep it on this end. And Diallo reaching for some good defense.
And, you know, Malinowski's a guy that can stretch the floor. He's a great shooter, as you can see, 50% from the field and 47% from 3. He gives him a different look offensively because of his ability to space the court. And when Akinjo drives, he has a guy that he can kick it out to. The defense has to pay attention to.
The Hoyas have had a devil of a time trying to beat Providence. They've lost 8 consecutive games to Providence College.
And you don't think that Cooley is not aware of that, and even though these guys are young and probably don't care about that stat, it matters, trust me.
And you know who really cares about it? The Georgetown student body, because a couple of their kids came over and let us know they intend to break that today, that 8-game skid.
No question. Early they said that, right?
Yeah. 4 on the shot clock. Govan in. Short jumper, and he'll switch that in.
Well, they like Govan coming on out of bounds plays. This is a nice quick flash by the big man showing that touch that he's perfected.
Such a good offensive player. 19 points a game, 8 rebounds as well. Young will kick out for Edwards. Here's Jackson up top. Here's Young with another jumper. He's off to a nice start.
He is. And, you know, one of the things that Providence coaches told me before the game is they're going to run more steps, more structure, and more sets early instead of being so free-flowing to keep them organized. I think that's helped them so far with the percentages.
That's going to be an offensive foul with 10:07 to go in a half. It goes against Georgetown. Malinowski back to the inbound play.
Here's Goldman. This is a quick little flash to the baseline, and he doesn't hesitate. Quick release. He doesn't bring the ball down. Very fundamentally sound for a big man, and continues to embrace that leadership role that Pat Ewing needs from him.
6'10" senior out of Queens Village, New York. Well, the Hoyas already with 3 offensive fouls, something to keep an eye on. Jackson to the baseline. That's a tough angle for 2.
Well, they want him to drive the ball hard to the rim, and even though he struggled in the last game from the field, he's more settled in the half-court offense and more efficient because they're running sets, and they're not just playing loosey-goosey with their offense.
This is about as smooth as the Friars have looked offensively this season. For an extended stretch, they've opened up a 23-17 lead and taken away by the Friars. Malinowski trying to get in close. Jackson on the baseline. Nifty spin. The kick out. Ashton Langford. His mid-range jumper. Off the iron and a foul. Will go against Providence College.
Isaiah Jackson, an important part of this Providence rotation. Ed Cooley said he needs to play well for them to be successful, and an upperclassman that can drive the ball hard, gets that angle, and that's when he can be really effective because he has the size and versatility to finish.
Khalif Young picks up the foul.
Versus Xavier, they were up 17 points, right? And they gave up that lead mainly because they got stagnant. The ball didn't move, and that zone defense that Xavier showed kind of made them a perimeter team when they want to get through the paint. And this game so far has it kind of looked at Georgetown is trying to play through the paint and get the ball into the gut of the defense and score high percentage shots. Here's a new look. Providence comes out in the 2-3 zone. And exactly what they want. They get the ball to Goldman, who does a good job of making himself available, flash into the high post.
He had a stretch where he scored in double figures for 18 consecutive games. Came to an end earlier this season, but he is relied upon so heavily offensively for Georgetown. And more often than not, he delivers. Edwards off the fake. Won't shoot it. Back out for Ashton Langford. Shot clock down to 6. Diallo. Here's Young in the paint. He has 6 points right away. That one missed badly and never did touch the iron.
It looked like LeBlanc might have got a piece of that, or at least threw Khalif Young off. Nice contest by the freshman.
McClung coming off that sprained ankle. A foul in the lane. 8:15 left here in the first half.
Providence foul by number 13.
And that'll be number 2 on Khalif Young. So Young will take a seat on Ed Cooley's bench. Pass deflected away, and Aaron tossed into the lane. Edwards comes away with it.
Georgetown sloppy. They got a few turnovers early, 8 turnovers on the game, and when you're trying to get a win coming off of 2 consecutive losses, that certainly is not how you want to come out.
The crowd is starting to fill in to get in some hoops before the snow today. Well, that's a pretty play on the baseline by Nate Watson.
Well, he used his left hand, which is not his traditional hand. A nice job being patient, scanning the defense, and then finishing.
7:40 to go here in the first half. And an official timeout. McClung on the drive, but guess who's there? Watson to swat that one away.
Communicating with his team and just kind of reminding them, hey, let's communicate out there offensively and defensively and play with confidence. You're coming off a 2-game losing streak, but now you've kind of recovered. You got your momentum, and they're playing well so far in the first half.
Ed said he liked the idea his team had so few games over this period of days, but just a couple of games, like 21 days, gives him a chance to really teach. Ashton Langford, difficult drive. Watson went for the follow, but came up empty. Here's McClung now going one-on-one against Edwards with a left hand and a whistle. And he'll be at the line, 7:23 in the first half.
Well, McClung's game is all about speed, and when he gets in the open court, he's very hard to stop. His last game, before he got hurt, he had 38 points versus Little Rock, Arkansas, and a lot of his points were in transition, just getting out and running and pushing the tempo.
Now McClung, the freshman out of tiny Gate City, Virginia, population of 2,000. Came to fame as a YouTube sensation with his crazy dunks and ball handling skills, but also setting the Virginia single-season scoring record, which was held by Georgetown great Allen Iverson. And he broke J.J. Redick's scoring record with 47 points in the state championship game. So he came to campus with a lot of hoopla.
Well, he's much more than a highlight kind of player. He can play ball, and he can do a lot for your team. A lot of it is based off his athleticism, but this guy is very skilled and has a huge upside.
Nichols in the game, a guy that Ed Cooley is very high on. Height, a big part of what he does, because he can jump through the gym, but he misfires on that one.
Not a good looking shot by Nichols. That's really not his strength. Catching and shooting, he's more of a slasher. Guy around the paint that can operate.
Akinjo outside the three. McClung, that one missed badly. And Watson there to collect the rebound. Providence's bench has outscored Georgetown's 8-0. Jackson tiptoes in for two.
With a footwork and a jump stop by Jackson. And Govan tried to close out but lost his footing. Jackson continues to attack the rim and slash, and he's shooting those high percentage shots.
Well, 8 points, biggest lead of the game here for Providence. Govan flips it up for two.
That's his go-to shot. When he gets the ball on that left block, he's going to turn over his left shoulder and go middle with that right-hand jump hook. And the size advantage, the patience, and the poise is what shows up there.
Just a unanimous preseason All-Big East first team. And he's certainly headed that way with the season he's putting together individually. Watson with the catch. Banging underneath. Yes.
But we got a battle of the paint here. Watson is going right at Govan and vice versa. And this is kind of what we thought early. Ed Cooley wants to feed Watson early, and Govan is going right back at him on the offensive end.
Now Watson 4 for 5 from the field. Pickett off the window. Long and lanky, and he banks it in.
Tough finish. And Ed Cooley talks about tough twos over threes, but that certainly was a tough two. Pickett over two defenders.
Edwards from the corner. He'll drill it, a three-pointer on target.
Well, the ball is moving, and when the ball moves, it finds energy, and making that extra pass, Edwards, another important piece off the bench, knocking down the big one.
Akinjo, he's a lot of fun to watch him handle it, and a dunk there by LeBlanc.
Where the hesitation in the crossover, the handle allows him to do a lot with the ball that frees up open shots for his teammates. Very good at creating in the paint.
You really have to keep looking down to check where it says freshman.
Yes. If he doesn't play like one, he doesn't look like one.
Looks like he's been playing for about 3 years. The stuff by Watson as he slams it in.
That was a set play versus the zone. They ran that lob play to perfection, and Nate Watson is balling today. Finishing above the rim. Providence up now.
Over the rim, capable of huge things. He had 19 points, 10 rebounds against Boston College in their overtime win. And he has the ability to put a team on those shoulders.
Well, talking to the staff, the last 2 games he's only had 7 field goals. 5 of 7 from the field for the last 2 games, and that's not enough shots for him. They wanted to make a point of emphasis for Nate Watson to get more touches and more scoring opportunities.
Well, 34-25, PC. And shooting over 60% here in the first half. Akinjo, a lot of traffic there, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
Yeah, that's the 4th offensive foul, I believe, by Georgetown. And Akinjo has a tendency at times to get a little too deep with his penetration because he's so good at getting to the rim.
Well, as you mentioned, 4 offensive fouls, but it's something Ed Cooley said in the last huddle. Keep taking charges.
Yes, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're rotating. They're beating Georgetown's guards to the spot and holding their position.
Watson again for the slam. Well, they can't stop him here in the first half.
Well, the execution is exactly what Ed Cooley was looking for. A nice little slice cut by Watson, who beat Govan to the spot. And then he's just a power move down low for the finish.
He's 6 for 7, and he's dunked 4 times. He is owning the paint here. Pickett from way downtown, no basket. A foul away from the basket before that shot.
And Watson just continues to play power ball, dunking everything within range. Andre Hunter, Ty Jerome, Kyle Guy, they have pieces that at every position that can make you worry at night if you're playing against them.
The Providence bench playing really, really well here early. Ashton Langford with 4 assists. Jackson has 3 assists. So coming off the bench and passing it exceptionally well. And they have outscored the Georgetown bench by 13.
Not only that, Georgetown has 10 turnovers, and that's been very, very detrimental to their offensive flow. Providence has been able to capitalize off that.
Watson, he has been the man here. White, shot clock inside 10. And a foul, a hold, 9 on the shot clock. You know, we're talking about the fact that Providence College looks so crisp here in the first half. And you and I were talking with Ed Cooley before the game. He loves the idea. He's had so much practice time with such a young team lately.
Well, he took advantage of this week and used it as a teaching week. And he said, look, if this team was more experienced, I would want to play right away. But this is a week to take advantage of getting in the film room, getting some reps on our offense, getting crisper, sharper. And you can see so far, they've been exactly that.
White to the paint. Tried to get it to Watson, but stole it away. Picked off by Johnson. And now La Jolla is trying to cut in to this PC lead here in our nation's capital. Johnson baseline. That's a quick step and lays it in. Pretty move.
He's a slasher, and I think Georgetown needs to focus more on attacking the rim, and Providence is pressuring up high on them, so there are going to be some opportunities when the ball is reversed, especially.
Lost to him. Got it out to Ashton Langford, intended for the point guard. He'll drive it with the left hand and misfire. And it's going to stay on this end. That's going to be off the Hoyas. Go back to Johnson's drive.
Johnson's a senior, so they know what they're going to get from him. He's a lefty, versatile forward. That straight line drive is probably one of his better skill sets.
That errant pass, one of the rare mistakes that PC has made. Mosley will make them pay on the other end. And a timeout, Ed Cooley. So Georgetown showing some life. PC takes the timeout, 36-29.
Well, you know, turnover.
It is absolutely fascinating. Totally up for grabs, it feels like.
It really does. And you ask any coach across the league, they'll say, honestly, any team can be beat and any team can lose. And that means that you gotta take every game like it's your last. And you can tell by the way these two teams are playing, that's the approach.
That's certainly a feel in this gym today. And that's going to be a 3-second violation. So a little bit of a skid here for the Friars after looking so smooth for so long.
Well, one thing is Georgetown dropped into a 2-3 zone, and they did that because Providence was scoring too easily in the paint with their tight cuts and their tight screens. So now they're trying to pack the paint with the zone and make Providence more of a perimeter team.
Right away downtown will drain the three. Coming off the bench and showing tremendous range. This is a 7-0 run all of a sudden.
Yeah, and the bench play of the Hoyas is giving them a lift now. First it was Providence's bench, now it's the Hoyas bench.
White trying to penetrate. The scoop shot off the iron. And now Georgetown certainly has momentum on their side. Feed inside, barely got there, and he lays it up and in. Johnson got it to go with the left hand, and a foul as well. And here come the Hoyas.
Exactly, and the Kenjo with the push, playing with tempo and that speed. And then again, Johnson making his impact felt off the bench with the strong hands, the strong catch, and then the concentration to finish with the traditional three-point play.
Diallo with the personal foul to put Johnson, the senior, at the line. So over the last 1 minute and 25 seconds, it's a 9-0 run. Another whistle with 1:41 to go. That'll go against Georgetown.
And see, this is what drives coaches crazy. Look at Ed Cooley's face. He's like, look, we were just up 10 points, and now we're up 2 points. An 8-0 run by the Hoyas, caused by turnovers, lack of execution in the half court. And then the Hoyas have come in with a spark off the bench for Johnson, giving them some energy.
Mosley with the foul, so it'll be Watson at the line for a 1-and-1. 1:41 before halftime. And Georgetown has battled back. You knew they would. Watson with the miss. And a free ball to Diallo. They'll get another opportunity.
Let's see if Providence can make an adjustment. The Hoyas go back to man-to-man on this set. And they've been able to get the ball down low.
Duke at the point. They've been targeting Watson all half long. He gave it up back to White. The jumper, not there. And a rebound tipped out of play. And will stay right here with a minute 13 to go. Providence ball.
Both teams are playing extremely hard, and Providence is kind of hit a little rut offensively the last few minutes, but Georgetown has picked up their pressure. More deflections, more active hands on the perimeter.
Coming up on 1 minute left in the first half. Here in D.C. on the back down. Watson and travel.
They sent the second defender to Watson, which made him rush and sped up his pace, which kind of caused him to shuffle his feet. Nice job with the adjustment, sending a second man to double Watson to force the turnover.
And Tariq in the last 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Providence 0 for 3, and they've turned it over 4 times. Malinowski straight on. No. And White jumping in for the rebound.
There's a 2-for-1 opportunity for Providence. They want to try to get 2 possessions.
Alpha Diallo's been a little quiet the last 5 or 6 minutes. Here's White.
And whenever Providence is unsettled, they go back into their flex offense to calm them down.
White thought about an 18-footer. And the officials getting together. And an offensive foul is the call. As Pat Driscoll calls that a charge.
And he did charge. He extended his arm. A little flop action by the defense, Malinowski. But when you extend that arm and make contact, it's an easy call for the officials.
So 36-34, Providence with the lead, but the Hoyas with the ball. 20 seconds before halftime.
And we're likely to go to a high ball screen and let Akinjo create. He's so good one-on-one. And it's shown in this halfway point of the season that he can make things happen off the bounce.
There's been some run to get back in and step back 3. Rebound by Diallo with an opportunity to get it in the air. Edwards will launch from midcourt, but off target. And we are at halftime. Georgetown fighting their way back. Providence held scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds of the first half. So we are at the break. Friars on top, 36-34. And on the other side of the break, it's Mike Hill and Steve, but had some trouble keeping up with Watson down to the other end. In transition, Friars open up a decent lead, but Georgetown came back and held them scoreless the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds of the first half to get to within 2. So Providence opens up with the basketball here in the second 20.
Georgetown is in a 2-3 zone to open up, and they're trying to protect that paint by being active in the zone and force Providence to be a perimeter team.
Duke looking for some contact there. Tipped away. Watson wins it back. And a second effort now. Diallo won't wait. He will stick the jump shot. A 3-pointer.
Well, Diallo had a strong first half and expect him to be aggressive again in this second half. As the leader of this team and such a young team, they follow his energy. He has to be the guy to get things started.
Preseason All-Big East first team selection and a whistle. Here in the opening minute of the second half, back to the triple by Alpha Diallo with a sweet touch.
Well, he does a little bit of everything well. Probably the most versatile player, not only on this team, but one of the most versatile players in the conference. As we said earlier, leads his team in scoring, rebounding, and assists, and also a rugged defender that can guard 1 through 4.
Now Jimmy Nichols with his second foul. That'll put Govan at the line where he makes 77%. Had some huge games at 25 and 10 against St. John's. He had 29 against Richmond.
Just very skilled, and he's hard to guard because he's a face-up big that can stretch the floor, but also does a good job in the screen and roll of popping and then also diving to the rim as he did in that last play to get the foul.
Counseled, of course, by one of the best big men in the history of the game, in Patrick Ewing.
Not a bad guy to learn from.
No, sir. Diallo will swing. White will fire it. Got a great look, but it's off the back of the iron. Akinjo wants to push it. Swatted away by Nichols. By the time his career's done at Providence, he's going to be one of the premier shot blockers, perhaps, in the conference.
Just good rotation, and Comes over from the weak side and has the length. That's 6'8". And probably a 7-foot wingspan.
Govan, quick shot. He comes right back to him. Pickett deep in the corner, but no. LeBlanc chasing down the rebound. Nice effort there, and they're going to get Duke for the foul. And some contact with McClung.
Committed by number 3, Duke. That's his first.
Well, both teams are desperate for a win, and certainly with the way the Big East is shaping up this year, Dave, to go on the road is even harder. This Georgetown team coming off of losing last 2 games, playing with that sense of urgency like Pat Ewing said, but it's going to come down to execution in the half court, I think.
Kenjo trying to weave his way in. It's off him, out of play.
Well, there's a few times when Kenjo, as good as he is, gets himself in trouble when he goes too deep. He's not a big guard. He's only about 5'10", 5'11", and you have a lot of length around you, so sometimes it's better to just kind of stop and pull up or not go as deep and probe the defense from the perimeter.
Watson had a big first half with 12 points. He made 6 of 7. 4 dunks. Nichols will launch it. That one missed badly. And tapped right back out for White now. They'll get another opportunity.
Well, that's one thing Providence does. They try to rebound with 5 guys, which includes the guards. And when you take jump shots, that usually means long rebounds. Georgetown has to get out and get a body on all those guards to rebound.
White will shoot again, but no. And a big rebound by the Hoyas. Trailing 39-35. Of course, Providence College in dire need of a victory as well. Starting out 0-2 in Big East. Playing a slam by Pickett.
A nice give and go, and Govan, a very good passer out of the post, and Pickett with a hard cut. That's how you play through the post. Cutting and passing behind the defense.
Well, that lit up the crowd here at Capital One, that's for sure. On the cut, out of play, a sloppy pass by PC, 39-37.
Underrated part of Govan's game is the passing out of the post, and Pickett knew that if he passed and cut hard, he would have an angle, and Pickett one of the best finishers on his Hoya team.
Pickett, a guy who started 28 games last season. He was their top 3-point shooter a year ago. His minutes have trailed off a little bit this year, but that was a resounding dunk.
Well, he's the X factor, I think, for this Hoya team. And as you mentioned, they had a strong freshman year, all Big East unanimous selection, averaged about 13 points a game. And this year, a little more up and down. He struggled kind of being consistent and being more than just a guy that can score and affecting the game in different ways.
Long distance, that'll rim out. McClung wants to take it in transition. Just coming back from a sprained ankle. It's looked pretty sound here today.
Well, he's really good at pushing tempo, especially when the defense isn't set. Got speed and...
They're going to do a blocking foul here with 16:35 to go in a tie game here in D.C.
Well, McClung is always looking to get to the basket. He's athletic and fast, and he's the kind of guy that wants to attack the rim. Sometimes he gets himself a little out of control, but they're very, very poised. And he looks good coming off a 4-game absence with an ankle injury. That explosiveness seems to be there.
Jesse Govan, his first foul, will put White at the line. Malik White, 68%. He's the guy who replaced the freshman A.J. Reeves in their lineup and had been scoring at about the same clip Reeves was before his injury until the last game. Villanova cooled him off. They have a tendency to do that. He was 1 for 6 against Villanova.
Yeah, he struggled in the last game, but another upperclassman, a junior that understands what Coach Cooley wants, and, you know, you need that kind of role off your bench, especially when you have a young team.
Diallo with the rebound. Only the second and third foul shot attempts for Providence today. And if Boy spent any time at the line, Diallo had slammed right back at him. Akinjo will attack. McClung fighting for the rebound. He won it back and now stripped from him. White comes away with it. Here's Duke to the lane. No! Fast and furious here in this section of the game. Akinjo. He can't connect. Pickett with a big board. Govan sizing up a long one. No!
A lot of missed shots, a lot of opportunities by both teams, but no one able to convert. And now Providence gets a chance to settle down and try to get some half-court execution.
Well, Georgetown had a good opportunity to take the lead there. The last lead was 11-9 Hoyas. Pickett again. Got his fingertips on that basketball. Diallo knocks it out of play. So it will be Georgetown ball, and they need to break.
They do. Both teams a little winded, trying to get their composure. This is affecting the offense, but also it's been sloppy play by both teams when they're playing up-tempo.
And very frenetic. It continues to be so, and they'll turn it over.
And to my point, a lot of loose passes and miscues offensively that could be kind of unforced turnovers in a sense because they're just being careless with the ball.
But Providence was so crisp and so efficient offensively for a long stretch, but they also are having problems with that in the second half.
Well, Pickett's starting to impact the game more than just scoring. He's had a block, a couple steals. His length is becoming a problem for Georgetown's offense.
Govan trying to go to work and miss off the front of the iron. And we'll see who Ed Cooley turns to now. It was certainly Watson in the first 20.
Well, I think if this becomes a half-court game that favors Georgetown, Providence is more of an up-tempo, full-court team.
Diallo trying to get deep, in close, and deflected away. They shut him down. And a whistle, and that's going to be a foul on the deck with just 7 on the shot clock.
The front line defense of Georgetown has been excellent the last couple minutes. The length, this is one of the bigger lineups with Govan, Pickett, and LeBlanc.
Pickett's going to have to step out with his 3rd personal foul. So some of that size hitting the bench, at least for a while. 14:42 to play. Over the top for Young. Jackson looking for a cutter. Monroe off the bench, and he'll swish in a 2-pointer.
It's good execution and patience by Providence. One of the focuses of their offense is take the best available shot, not the first available shot. There's a difference there.
Malinowski, nice feed. Govan for 2.
But Govan made himself available by filling his man and flashing to the middle of the paint. Nice post-entry pass for the easy shot.
Boys continue to pass it well. Monroe will stick another one. That's back-to-back.
And Monroe coming off the bench, a little rhythm shot. Nice little shot fake to create space. And the bench play is becoming a factor for both teams.
Govan, yes, with a 3-pointer. Well, again, he's 43%. You think at 6'10", you might be able to lay off him a little bit, but he'll make you pay.
He sure will. And when you have numbers like that, it's legit.
Monroe off the fake. He's had the hot hand inside, and that's going to be an offensive foul on the Friars.
The versatility of Govan is what makes him such a hard guard. The ability to step out and stretch the floor with the 3 is a big part of his game, and we don't see too many 6'10" bigs that can shoot the 3 with that kind of ease and comfort.
24 for 55 from 3-point territory for the big fella. So under 13 and a half minutes to go here in the second half, and a must-win for both sides.
And Govan has a mismatch here. He's trying to front Jackson.
Kinjo stops. Malinowski trying to get around Duke. Shot clock down to 9 for the Hoyas. Govan. With the shot clock down to 2 to the lane. No.
Well, good defense. They forced him left, which is what you want to do, guarding Govan.
Diallo beyond the 3-point line says, why not? And it glances away. Kinjo straight on to the back of the iron. They'll get the second opportunity. This time he'll drive the paint and denied. Great stop by Duke. Here's Jackson to Diallo for the stop.
And again, Providence thriving in transition. Diallo runs the floor hard, and that's really their best offense, playing up-tempo in transition, beating the defense down the court.
Alpha Diallo with 14 points. For the Friars star, Mosley. There's LeBlanc, short range, and the tip won't drop. The second tip by LeBlanc wouldn't fall, and a whistle as it goes out of play, and they'll keep it on this end.
Both teams in a battle right now, and Kinjo goes too deep in the block shot by Duke, and in a transition game ignited by the defense, Diallo leading the way.
It'll be Georgetown ball, 2-point contest with 12:09 left here at Capital One Arena as Diallo will get a breather. Long one to Kinjo. Yes, that rattles in a three. And Georgetown is in front for the first time in a long time, 47-46.
Kinjo, nice job coming off that screen and flaring.
Last time they led, it was 11-9 in the first half. Jackson. Now up there, and a rebound tucked away by Monroe. They'll get another opportunity. So Providence trailing by 1. Ashton Langford's pull-up pop. He sailed it.
Well, that just goes down to making shots. They ran a good set of little horns action, and Ashton Langford is unable to finish.
Providence triple off the mark. But they will have possession of it when we come back after the timeout. 11:13 to go, and the Hoyas have jumped in front. Said 3 easy points, but he likes where they are at this point. Obviously a 1-point game. Providence trying to get into the win column of the Big East for the first time this season.
Well, he's just a phenomenal coach. I mean, he's led the Friars to 5 consecutive NCAA tournaments appearances, a first time in program history. Not only that, he has transformed the community of Providence, being a homegrown guy.
Govan with a catch and lays it in after Malinowski sailed it right over the iron. So 49-46 Georgetown. Here's Watson down low and over his shoulder eventually. Diallo comes away with it. Jackson, and he'll draw the foul before the shot with 10:43 on the clock. So we give you a look at the standings inside the conference coming into play today. Villanova perfect in the Big East at 3-0. Then Seton Hall 3-1. Marquette 2-1. And coming off a tremendous victory against Creighton.
Well, you get the feeling that after this weekend, this is going to be all scrambled again, because the depth of this league is probably better than ever in terms of no clear-cut favorite. Every team is pretty close in terms of being able to win or lose the game, and it's really interesting how this league is shaping up.
Watson in the paint, barreling in. That's an offensive foul. That'll go against Providence.
A good rotation by Johnson. And Watson has been able to get going early. Here not only did he charge, he also walked. So that was a turnover either way.
You can feel it inside the arena, however subtle, that momentum shift to Georgetown. Put it in the hands of the freshman point guard Kinjo. Here's Carter from the corner. He's got a three.
Nice set by Georgetown, and this crowd's starting to get into it. They like what they see. The Hoyas starting to execute better in the half court.
They're on an 8-0 run. Diallo inside Edwards, and one. He made the shot. He'll be at the line. And a big shot indeed for PC.
It really was. They needed a basket, and Edwards did the right thing by cutting hard to the rim, making himself available. And here's a Kinjo with a nice little driving kick. Very good at setting the table for his teammates, the Kinjo is. Here's a nice cut by Edwards. Upperclassman making a play.
Malinowski with his second foul. Edwards looking for a three-point play. And the Hoyas come away with a rebound, 52-48 Georgetown.
Foul shooting has been a problem all year for Providence. Second to last in the conference. That's been a huge issue. Difference between winning a game and losing. Both teams mixing and matching the defense. The Friars in the high 2-3 zone.
5 to shoot. Knocked away by Jackson on the theft. Edwards trying to take it and draws the foul as he was tied up by Malinowski.
Well, this is a game where turnovers are becoming more and more of a factor. And I believe the changing defenses is a big part of it. The zone with the length on the perimeter and the deflection leads to the steal, and now Edwards coming off the bench. I really think the bench play, Dave, of both teams, particularly the Friars, has played a big role in the momentum. Right now, it feels like the Friars starting to come back and get a little momentum.
Edwards has helped that. Monroe has as well off the bench. 9:24 left. And a 52-48 Georgetown advantage. Hoyas coming up back-to-back defeats. Lost to St. John's in overtime and to Xavier earlier this week, just 81-75. So a couple of grueling defeats.
Yeah, and anytime you lose at home, it's brutal. And Ed Cooley knows that to get a win on the road is even harder. So certainly, I think he's had his team prepared. He's taken advantage of that week off and gotten his team in the mindset. And really, he talked about toughness being the key ingredient to this game. And so far, I think they've shown that.
A 2-point lead for the Hoyas.
A little run and jump here that Ed Cooley likes to do off of dead ball situations. Try to slow down Georgetown's momentum.
Carter will swing it. Mosley with the drive to lay it in. Very determined play, 54-50.
Well, you like the fact that Mosley attacked the rim off the ball reversal, which is the best time to do it.
Jackson went for the reverse. Watson in the thick of it. He'll draw the foul. 8:56 to go.
And when the ball shifts side to side, it leaves your defense vulnerable. Jackson tries to close out bad angles, and that's when you attack the feet of the defender. Mosley does the right thing, get into the rim.
Patrick Ewing loves his toughness. Out of Marlboro, New Jersey. So Watson at the stripe.
And you know, Watson also a local from Northern Virginia. Went to Bishop O'Connell High School, a sophomore. So this is kind of a homecoming for him in a sense.
6'10" sophomore's had a very good day. He had 12 points in the first half to lead the way for the Friars. And he sinks them both.
Announced his decision to attend Providence on Ed Cooley's birthday. Nice little gift for Coach.
Indeed. And a guy who's made an impact for him in his sophomore season. He has 14 points today.
He's been very good.
Ed's daughter Olivia is here this afternoon. Guess where she's going to school next year?
Let me guess.
She's going to Georgetown.
She sure is. We saw her before the game, visiting with Big John, Coach John Thompson, the legendary Hall of Fame coach, who also happens to be a mentor to Ed Cooley and a pioneer for a lot of people, but certainly Ed Cooley indebted to Coach Thompson for everything he's done for the game.
And very proud of his daughter.
Absolutely. Said Olivia got her smarts from his wife, Maurice.
She did,
Not from him.
He's one of the smartest coaches in the game. Mosley up top. Akinjo with a pull-up jumper. That missed ugly. So Providence in transition. Diallo. Edwards baseline. Shut down there. Diallo free for the jumper. Around and out. Watson went for the tip.
Well, both teams are depending more on their three-point shot than before. A lot of it has to do with the zone adjustment defensively by both teams.
Cooler shooting for both sides in the second half, no question about that. A big drive by Jackson and a foul, and he'll be at the line as well.
An early offense by the Friars. Ashton Langford seeing the court. And a beautiful, beautiful pass and finish. Jackson off the bench. Ties it up. The importance of rebounding, and certainly possession of the ball is crucial the further you go into the game. Closely played game, both teams battling for a win. And the little things mean something. Physical play, boxing out, loose balls, and certainly controlling the glass can make the difference between winning and losing.
Isaiah Jackson has just put Providence back in the lead. Georgetown took its biggest lead at 52-46. That was a little after the 12-minute mark. Since then, Providence has outscored them 9-2.
Georgetown has a mismatch here with Ashton Langford guarding Govan.
He'll back down, looking for that mismatch, trying to win it, but off the window. Gets it back, and he sticks it in.
Well, to Pat Ewing's point, rebounding, keeping the loose balls available, or getting those loose balls, so important. Good second effort by Govan.
He has 19 points. Hoyas back up by 1. Backdoor feed, Edwards, and a well-run play for 2.
It sure is, and the execution with Diallo at the elbow as kind of a point wing. Hard cut. Freed up that open basket.
Govan, he's going to touch it a lot these last 7 minutes, you've got to believe. Into the paint again.
Excellent job by Diallo, guarding Govan straight up at a smaller guy, moving his feet to stow him off.
Edwards will fire and knock back a three-pointer.
And Edwards looks at the bench like, look, I can do this. I'm a senior, and he's also from the area from Maryland. Makes a big shot. 2-possession game for the Friars.
60-56. Akinjo slithering inside. LeBlanc takes the hit. A foul against BC.
And Drew Edwards is playing good basketball off the bench. First a hard backdoor cut for the layup, and then in transition he just spots up, running the floor, shooting with confidence, giving the Friars a little breathing room.
It's been a great call by Ed Cooley to bring him off the bench and give him these kind of minutes. He has scored 9 of their last 14 points.
Well, one of the things that I think Ed Cooley does a really good job of is knowing when and how to use his personnel. And Edwards has been a role player his entire career, but someone that's been part of the rotation the last couple years and can come off the bench. You can trust that he's going to give you some good quality minutes.
2-point game. Well, you figured this would be this kind of a contest.
We did. We sure did. And it's living up to what we thought it would be.
Jackson on a high post. Ashton Langford just made a gorgeous pass moments ago. That one is swatted away. Pickett got up there.
And Pickett has been a very disruptive player defensively this second half. His length has been a problem with the block shots and the deflections.
Akinjo's jumper. Rebound tipped, and it's up and in. Count that basket by Govan, and he'll be at the line.
Well, you think the Warriors got the message from Pat Ewing in the huddle about rebounding? I think they did. First a block shot by Pickett, and then on the other end, Govan. No one puts a body on him. He gets inside position. That's just too easy for the 6'10" big man.
Well, he is so strong to be able to keep his position in the lane and tip that, make the shot, take the hit. He's got 21 points and 8 rebounds. And looking to put the Hoyas back in front, but he can't deliver that. Tied at 60. Jackson on the attack, seeking some contact. Govan with a rebound.
Well, the refs are letting him play. Good no call. Little bit of contact, but I think you let that go. Got to be strong when you drive the ball to the cup.
60-60. 5.5 to go. McClung. Pickett will launch a long one, but not theirs. It's tipped out of play, and it'll go the other way. It will be Providence ball. 5:23 showing.
Well, both teams playing with a lot of intensity. And this is Big East basketball at its best, a slugfest.
Providence, after a tough 65-59 home loss to Villanova last Saturday, now 10-5. They have lost 2 in a row. So trying to get back into the win column in a brutal conference. There's Watson for 2. And again, Ashton Langford finds the open man.
Good heads-up play by Ashton Langford, the sophomore guard who does a good job of seeing the court. And Watson continues to score 5 feet in.
Yep, he's 7 out of 8. Johnson over the top for Govan. Underneath, Johnson, no, but a foul. 4:44 to go.
And Nate Watson has been very good down low in the post. The sophomore, just moving without the ball, coming off of screens hard, and when he came off that cross screen, he was in a perfect position for the layup, and Ashton Langford with the nice assist.
Ashton Langford just picked up his second personal foul off the front of the iron by Johnson.
Hey, you know, Georgetown is doing something that makes sense. They're continuing to play through the post with Govan, and Govan is not just a scorer, he's also a facilitator. And when guys make hard cuts off the post, we've seen it with Pickett, and now we just saw it with Johnson, there's going to be opportunities for them to score.
But the Hoyas have not been great at the line today. 5 out of 11. We'll see how much that costs them inside these last 5 minutes. Providence by 1.
There's that elbow action where Diallo is the catalyst. They're still running the flex, but they like that elbow action.
Edwards, nice hesitation, but it won't roll in. Battling for the rebound. He hits the deck. It comes free, but they're on the line.
I think they're going to call that on Malinowski with the push, I think. Yes.
Yeah, he'll get hit with that foul. The crowd doesn't like it at all. Greg Malinowski, the senior, with his 4th foul.
Loose ball foul. Both teams scrambling for the ball. There's a little bit of a push there. Inadvertent, but a little bit of a push by the right forearm of Malinowski as him and Edwards were trying to get that loose ball.
No hesitation by Brian O'Connell. So it'll be Edwards to the line. Very good foul shooter, the junior from Perry Hall, Maryland. And 12 points for him today. He's been a huge part of the narrative for Providence College this afternoon.
He has, and it seems like Cooley always has 1 or 2 guys that you may not think about because you look at their stats and say, this guy is not really doing much, but he finds a way to get those guys ready, and they step up at opportune times.
Drew Edwards with another one coming. Makes the pair. And that opens up a 64-61 lead for the Friars. Coming up on the 4-minute mark. Edwards with 11 points in the last 5.5 minutes.
Georgetown trying to get that zone offense going and trying to facilitate through Govan.
Watson will pick up the foul, but he can't believe it, actually. Just trying to keep a body in front of big Jesse Govan. Will be at the line for a 1-and-1.
Govan is such a handful to guard because typically when you guard a big man that steps out 15 feet away from the basket, you don't have to pressure him. But with Govan, you have to because he will knock down that jump shot with ease. He has the size and the length to shoot over you. And if you play up too much on him, he can take you off the bounce. So certainly tough matchup for anyone guarding him.
And typically makes his foul shots, too. He's 77%.
A well-rounded big man. I think he'll have a nice NBA career.
You would think so. 64-63, Providence College. Under 4 minutes to play.
The Warriors still in that zone. Watch for the trap on the first pass. They like to do that sometimes.
Jackson on the wing. Shot clock to 10. Jackson will fire it up there. Rebound Diallo. The follow is up and in.
Well, that's what makes him so good because he doesn't give up on the play. Diallo immediately crashed the glass off the Jackson 3, and no one had a body on him. Diallo made a pay.
16 for Alpha Diallo. The freshman launches. Off to the left of the iron. One and done for the Hoyas. 66-63. Providence College in the lead.
And if I'm the Friars, I continue to ride Diallo. He's the guy that's making the plays. Play through him.
Edwards deep in the corner. Shot clock at 7. Diallo, yes, to the paint, kicks it. Watson, short range for 2.
And Diallo again steps up at the biggest moment. The shot fake in the drive, drawing the defense in, and his wingman, Nate Watson, with a big shot.
Said a huge day with 18, and an answer by Govan from way downtown.
You got a game here.
Well, the fans here in Washington, D.C. waiting on a snowstorm, but they are enjoying the basketball. And the noon tip here at Capital One Arena. It's been a dandy. Diallo back outside for Ashton Langford. Shot clock has dwindled down to 7. Trying to drive it. Difficult angle. He flipped it up there. Govan had it go in and out of his hands. And so so it is on a play off Georgetown.
And Diallo on the glass, showing his offensive aggressiveness, and then Govan stretching the floor with another three ball. Whatever, 15, 16 points, just an incredible performance.
Amazing.
His second 50-point game of the season.
A SoFi game reset. 3 timeouts for Providence, 2 for Georgetown. The inbounds here for Diallo, and denied by Pickett. He's done that several times. That's a shot clock violation. It goes back over to the Hoyas.
Big-time play by Pickett. That's his 4th block of the game. And we talked to Pat Ewing about Pickett and what he can do. That length is a big part of his game, affecting the game more than just scoring with his defensive versatility.
Under 2 minutes to play. And up in the air, 68-66, Providence College. Malinowski. Pickett going around the back. Got a little too fancy with it. Nearly lost it. Govan. Malinowski to the paint. And a blocking foul. 1:44 to go.
Scramble play, and you know, when you have scramble plays, it's going to be contact in most cases. Malinowski decides to take the ball hard to the rim with 4 fouls. That was a risky play by him. He gets away with the block, and now a chance to tie it up.
The senior, 83% at the line. And shooting 2.
He started the last 4 games, averaged 15 points, shot 50% from the field. Pat Ewing says he's a guy that I know what I'm going to get from him. Even when he's not making shots, he usually makes the right play.
And he makes 2 free throws, his first 2 points today. So Georgetown to bring Mosley back on.
Yeah, now we have, under 2 minutes, tie game. If I'm the Friars, you certainly want the ball in Diallo's hands and put the pressure on Georgetown by attacking the rim. You have them in the bonus.
Diallo directing traffic. Shot clock at 14. Friars star almost lost the handle. Forced it up there. Won't go. And tipped on a play back to Georgetown.
Well, Pickett's defense, that matchup between Pickett and Diallo is the matchup to watch. And Pickett is engaged. He is really utilizing his whole physical skill set, the wingspan, the length, and the quick hands are really allowing him to stay in front of Diallo. Diallo, on the other hand, is not going to back down. He's going to continue to attack.
And not a bad way to kick off a busy afternoon.
That's right. Fun day.
Tied at 68. 1:10 to play. Govan. Knocked away. Gets it back. Working on Diallo. The 2 stars head-to-head. Can't hit it. Pickett went right through the ceiling for the rebound.
Again, Pickett affecting the game with his energy. He's been huge in the second half, and now the Hoyas have an extra possession.
Now timeout. Patrick Ewing. A dandy here, tied at 68.
Came back from last year, thought about going to the NBA, did the right thing, I think, having a really strong year, putting himself in a better position for the draft next year.
Well, this one is tied 68-68, 50.8 seconds to go. Hoyas with the ball.
And certainly you got to guess the ball is going to go to Govan at some point. Play through him.
Malinowski trying to get it to Govan. Here's the freshman. Inside of the big fella for the slam. He has 28.
Excellent job by Akinjo getting into the gaps with the dribble penetration, drawing the defense in.
Edwards to the paint, surrounded. Here's Diallo, way downtown. He hits the 3. Providence by 1.
And that's why you have big-time players. Diallo with a timely 3 and another nice play by Edwards, creating with the assist.
Under 10 seconds. Kinjo way downtown trying to answer himself. Jackson, a huge rebound. He's tied up and fouled with 3.9 seconds to go.
And Pat Ewing is not happy with the Kinjo. He did not want him to take that shot. This is a learning moment for Kinjo because Pat Ewing wanted the ball to go down to Govan. It starts with the first play. Govan with a nice dump-off pass from Akinjo. And then Diallo with the big-time three, did not hesitate to put them up one.
Malinowski has fouled out. 71-70. Providence looking to eke out a victory here on the road. Jackson will be at the line.
Well, you know, leading up to this game, Ed Cooley had his team shoot foul shots in practice, and each player took 100 foul shots apiece, specifically for moments like this. Right now, the team is second to last in the league at 66% from the foul line, and a number of losses they've had have been because they could not convert from the foul line. So we'll see what happens here, but Jackson certainly has an opportunity to give them a little more breathing room with just a one-point lead.
They were at the monitor to see if they had the right shooter. It was Isaiah Jackson setting up, and he's one of the best, 80%. For Providence College, they lead by one with 3.9 seconds to go, and he's shooting 1-1.
And remember, Georgetown has one timeout left, 3.9 seconds left, more than enough time to get a shot off. It'll be a one-possession game, regardless what happens with these foul shots.
And he sinks the first. Another one coming.
Now, if Georgetown, if Jackson makes this shot, if I'm Ed Cooley, I'm fouling. You don't want to take a chance. I am fouling on the floor. I'm sure they'll talk about this in the timeout.
Yeah, it's fascinating given what we just saw this week with Creighton and Marquette.
Yes.
And the decision not to foul a three-point shooter at the buzzer, whether you agree the shot was good or not. I happen to think he didn't get it off. But right now, 73-70, Providence College. The Friars have made their last 8 foul shots, so they have been clutch.
Well, you also may use Pickett to flash, since he's long and he can catch it, he has good hands, and let him make a pass to someone like Govan, who's probably their best three-point shooter on the floor right now.
Mostly to get it in. Here's McClung getting to midcourt. It's him to shoot at long range. Hey, back in! They're calling it good. They're calling it good on the court. McClung has missed the last 4 games because of a bad ankle. Banks it in. 73-73, and of course they will go to look at it. Then with the heave to bank it in, the three-pointer to tie it, and we are now in overtime in Washington, D.C.
Unbelievable.
And controlled by the Hoyas to begin OT. Govan with a pass and out of play, and so to go right back to Providence.
Diallo with the quick hands, and even though he's smaller than Govan, he has been very adept at deflecting and poking that ball away. Forced turnover.
It's fascinating how often you talk about that. Will one coach foul when a three-pointer can tie? Electing not to do that with Ed Cooley, and McClung sticks it.
Yeah, you know, it's a difference of opinion depending on who you're talking to. And, you know, it's easy for us to say it over here. We're not coaching the game, but, you know, I thought Ed Cooley was going to elect the foul. I certainly thought that it made sense at that time, just to eliminate the chance of anything crazy happening, which obviously did.
Double bonus, Edwards at the line here to put the Friars on top, 74-73. So it seems like every game in the Big East lately has been coming down to the wire like this.
It really has, and it's been only about 2-3 weeks of conference play. So let's see how it is when we get to February.
Govan well away from the basket.
Providence back in man-to-man now.
McClung off the fake. They'll fire long range. Got that one. They're going to call that a 2, at least at the moment.
Well, he is shooting the ball much better than he did early in the year. Starting in his last game, Little Rock versus Little Rock, he had 5 threes, I believe. So that has allowed him to be more of a threat offensively.
Looked like he had 1 foot on the line. Diallo jumping inside, left it short. Jackson hitting the deck. Big scramble for that, a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it on this end for the Friars. And back to the jump shot on the other end by McClung.
Mac McClung, better known as a driver, but when he starts getting to the rim and he gets that little step back to create space, he will knock that shot down when he gets a clean look, starting to play more balanced offensively and mixing his game up.
Pretty obvious that was a two-pointer. Edwards had such a big impact during regulation for the Friars. Ashton Langford around the back. Swatted away. McClung controls. Here he comes. In transition. Barreling in. There's going to be an offensive foul.
Yeah. Good call. Brian O'Connell called it, and that's the one thing you do have to be patient with as Pat Ewing looks up in the sky and says, what is going on? His freshman guards at times get a little overly aggressive. Both Akinjo and Mac McClung have a tendency to plow over defenders and get a little out of control.
Ashton Langford has really made this a stock and trade for himself. He's tremendous at taking charges for the Friars.
Yes, he is. And he's continuing to increase his role with A.J. Reeves being out.
.75. Jackson with a catch and a shot, and he airmailed that one. That didn't touch a thing. We're in overtime here in Washington. Thanks to Mac McClung, the freshman. Right in front of the buzzer on the long heave. He's got it now beyond the three. Under 3 minutes to go. Akinjo pulls up and knocks it down to two. Up the other end, Watson. Blocked by Govan. The follow won't go. Diallo thought he had a foul. No whistle there. They are letting him play. McClung scoops it up. Heavy traffic. Here's Govan from three. Pickett with another rebound. He's had a sensational game.
He has. It's not just the stats that show it, but his energy, his ability to keep the second possession alive. A lot of key plays by the sophomore.
Lane opening up. Swatted away by Watson, but a whistle with 2:21 left in overtime.
Akinjo, the freshman, being asked to do a lot. Handling the ball and making plays and scoring the ball as well. Big time play, and you just like the fact that Pat Ewing is, well, here we'll see the block here by Govan, and protecting the rim is always key for Georgetown. But I really think, Pat Ewing, when you have young guards, you have to be patient and allow them to grow through some mistakes. And I think you watch this relationship between Akinjo and Pat Ewing and the nurturing, the teaching, the patience by the coach. The coaching staff has really allowed Akinjo to play free and loose.
Creighton, they're coming up next against Seton Hall, so don't go away. Providence, typically a very, very tough team to beat in overtime and in close games under Ed Cooley. They're 0 for 4 from the field so far with a turnover in this overtime, so trying to get back into an offensive groove. It'll be Akinjo at the line, 82% for the freshman. So that will make it a 3-point lead for the Hoyas.
Well, defensively, Georgetown has been solid in the overtime session. And really, Pickett's defense on Diallo has been key.
Watson calling for it, didn't get it.
Govan doing a good job of fronting Nate Watson to keep him from getting the ball down low.
Diallo baseline pass, they swing it back out. Edwards, great fake, launches, got it! A three-pointer.
Well, the poise and the patience, the shot fake under distress. And Drew Edwards has been huge off the bench with 19 points.
78-78. In OT. McClung scoops it up. Yes! Well, for a second, it looked like it had no shot. But he's making everything.
He's got no fear. He's driving to his left, his weak hand, and just attacking that rim with reckless abandon.
2-point lead for the Hoyas. Edwards has to go and chase it. Through the lane it goes. Jackson's three. Yes!
Are you kidding me? This is a battle. Back and forth. Whoever can make the last shot's probably going to win.
Goodness gracious. Providence by one. McClung! In and out. Boy, was in the cylinder. Under a minute to play in overtime.
Now, here's where you want to use the clock, but also be aggressive. And Ashton Langford, just a sophomore, learning a big lesson here. Ed Cooley trying to calm his team down and run a set.
They get it to the smooth Diallo. Ashton Langford looks at the shot clock. Now it's 7. Here's Watson. Diallo, shot clock at 2. He gets it up there. Hits it! A three-pointer right in front of the shot clock horn.
Well, you can't draw it up any better. You work the whole shot clock, and then you get your best player a clean 3.
Govan trying to answer. He can't. Rebound tipped and controlled. Akinjo had all the shot. He got hit. He got fouled in the corner with 15.6 seconds to go.
Ed Cooley's losing his mind over here. I'm not sure if there was contact, but I tell you what, Akinjo with the veteran move kind of flopped off the 3, and here's Diallo with a big 3, possibly the biggest shot of the game, off the ball screen.
So it'll be 3 shots coming for the freshman James Akinjo with 15.6 to go. He is 3 out of 4 today at the line.
And he's been excellent. The freshman who caught a little fire under Pat Ewing in regulation when he took an errant jump shot instead of getting the ball to Goldman, but has made up for it in his overtime session with his leadership.
Yes, he is very cool at the line, too. He's trying to make it a 1-point game and bury all 3. Ed Cooley will go to the bench and bring on Malik White for Watson. Watson will step aside.
Well, Dave, we talked about foul shooting being so important. It's going to come down to foul shooting. No question. If he makes this shot at Akinjo, then expect some kind of full court pressure by the Hoyas, and then they're going to have to foul to put the Friars on the line.
Well, that was ice. He made all 3 to make it 84-83 in overtime. It'll be Providence ball here in a moment. After the timeout, 83 Providence. And the Friars have the ball here in overtime.
Keep in mind, both teams have 1 timeout. Expect a trap of some sort.
Diallo trying to get through the trap and draws the foul. 13.7 to go. Patrick Ewing hopping mad, just feet away from that play.
Well, I think the Hoyas wanted the trap first, and then they were going to try to tie it up with a jump ball possession because they have the possession if it does become a jump ball. But Diallo was strong with the ball. He expected the trap and knew he was going to get fouled.
Heading to the line to shoot 2. He's 69%.
You know, it's interesting, Dave. You know, Diallo is a junior now, and this is his first year kind of being a marked man. He is the leader of this team and leads this team in all important categories, scoring, rebounding, and assists. But the maturation, the evolving nature of his game as a freshman, a role player. Last year, he was the 3rd wheel behind Cartwright and Bullock. And now this year, he is the man, and he's relishing that opportunity.
Certainly is today. 23 points, 12 rebounds for Alpha Diallo. The New York native, very cool at the line.
Now, let's see what happens here. Under 8 seconds, I would foul. And we're going to get a timeout, and we'll get to revisit this again.
Yes, for the 2nd time today. Georgetown taking the timeout, trailing by 3, but with the ball, and 10.5 seconds to go.
But you take the first shot available, and then you have to foul again. I do think that Pat Ewing has drawn this play up for a 3 of some sort.
Blair, the sophomore, will check it in. Near the scorer's table. Govan at the top of the key. It's Akinjo.
They're going to play it straight up.
Akinjo. Long distance. Buries it! 3.4 seconds to go in overtime. And we're tied again.
Unbelievable, because he was wide open. They didn't go over the ball screen. They went under the screen. And Akinjo, both freshmen, have given them life and allowed them to extend this game out. First it was McClung to force the overtime. And now
the length of the floor. Who does get the ball to take it?
I think you want the ball in Diallo's hands. I mean, he's your best player. He's playing great. He's made his foul shots, and you're in the bonus. You got to get the ball to your best player.
Up ahead for Watson. Ashton Langford to midcourt. Gives it up. Here's Jackson at the buzzer. It barely ticked the iron. And we're going to a second overtime.
Let's stay another 5 minutes. Why not?
Why not? The snow will hold off for another hour or so.
They did their best to get a clean shot. So certainly questionable choices there that's led to a second overtime.
McClung and Akinjo give them a lot of credit, making giant three-pointers in the clutch for the Hoyas. Second OT underway. Diallo swinging the pass for Watson, an easy two.
Well, that two-man game between Diallo and Watson is what they need to get back to. The two best players, play through them and let them carry you. Nice pass by Diallo.
Diallo, by the way, with 6 assists here this afternoon. Govan really wanting the ball, didn't get it. Akinjo up top. And the freshman with that giant three moments ago will shoot a two. It spins out. Big battle for it. Govan, a foul in the act of taking a shot. 4:15 left in OT.
Well, Govan has been engaged all game on the glass, and his ability to keep second possessions alive between him and Pickett have helped them to extend the game.
Diallo's third to put the 6'10 senior at the line. (88-87). Georgetown trying to snap an 8-game losing skid to Providence College. And a lot of those have been battles similar to this.
Unbelievable. Govan has 30.
Edwards off to Diallo. See if he can take over here in the second overtime. That's blocked away by Govan.
Well, that was... You knew Diallo was going to drive hard to the rim, but the help side D and the rotation by Govan, the timely block.
McClung looking for the bounce speed, held on. Akinjo, shot clock at 10. The block up to set the screen. The freshman handles the ball so beautifully, and the drive for two.
Well, he has that rocker move when he can kind of rock you to sleep, and then that burst and the teardrop by the freshman. I'm really impressed by this freshman backcourt. Pat Ewing has a lot to be excited about now and the future.
Ashton Langford going in strong. No foul on the play. Hoyas come away. They want to run a bit. McClung fires. Short. Fires all over the basketball. And trailing by 2.
And Nate Watson has been contained in the last few minutes a lot because Govan is working so hard to front him, and then the help side D of Pickett and LeBlanc clogging the paint.
Govan reaching in, trying to deny he'll commit the foul. Stopping the clock at 2:48 of the second overtime. Back to McClung's drive moments ago.
Well, McClung has continued to, actually, Akinjo with the hesitation dribble, and you know, he reads the defense well. If you back up off him, he's going to shoot the jump shot. If you get too close on him, he has the speed and that touch to finish over bigger opponents.
Watson 3 out of 4 at the line. Watson not a great foul shooter, 57%, but on target with that first one. Now looking to tie it with this one. Georgetown up by 1.
And you have to wonder if teams are getting, if each team is tired. I mean, this is a battle, and it's been high throttle intensity from the first minute.
No let up. Govan in and out. Jackson with a rebound. Providence College trying to retake the lead. Diallo, Jackson, he can hit that three. He'll go to the paint instead. Kind of a wild scoop. No whistle on that play.
It looked like the Providence was waiting for the whistle to be called, but these refs have let them play.
And a very determined drive by the freshman McClung, who's made huge shots today.
Well, when he gets ahead of steam, he's thinking one thing, attack the basket. Very good job of attacking with his offhand. We've seen him do that a number of times, finishing with the left.
92-89. Slamming on the brakes. Jackson will draw the foul with 1:50 left in OT.
And McClung has really recovered well from the injury, and he's gotten a lot of drives left. In transition is when he's the most dangerous because of his speed and quickness.
So it'll be Jackson at 80% to shoot. This is a 2-point game.
This is good for Providence to kind of calm down. They've had a couple of moments when they haven't gotten clean shots. So draw a foul and get settled at the foul line, put some points back on the board.
1 of 2, 92-90. Akinjo gave up the dribble. He passes out of trouble.
And they're trying to trap the ball screen to get the ball out of Akinjo's hands.
McClung spinning. Up it goes, but no. Locks him with a rebound. Providence with another opportunity to tie or take the lead in the second overtime.
And this is where Cooley is dangerous because he runs really good stuff down the stretch. He's going to run a set and try to play through the paint. Score something high percentage, score, get fouled.
He's won a lot of close games in his tenure at Providence College. Shot clock at 4.
And they're not aware of the shot clock.
Diallo barely got it off, and it never got to the iron, so that's a violation of the shot clock.
And that's the sign of a young team. And this unit, even though there is some experience on the court, not enough, and the awareness of the shot clock, you can't have that at this stretch of the game.
So Akinjo will take his time now with a 2-point lead. On the feed, Govan. Very difficult angle, but shoved on the play. So he'll be shooting with 39.8 to go in the second OT.
Nice deep post up by Govan, and that's what you want. You want to get the ball to your best player on the block and let him go to work. That's Nate Watson's fourth now, right?
It is. Number 4 on Nate. 21 points today. He had a huge first half. First one goes for Jesse Govan. 31 points for him today. 6 out of 8 at the line.
He's been dominant, in terms of stepping up when his team needs him most.
In and out on the second, though.
Big miss there. One possession game still. Cooley's going to call a timeout and get his team settled.
Timeout with 33.7 left. So a timeout. Providence will have the ball when we come back from the timeout, trailing by 3 in overtime number 2. Let's get it back to Mike in the studio.
All right, guys, keeping you updated on Seton Hall.
Stretch. So let's keep an eye on it. But, Providence right now down 3 with 33 seconds left. You don't need a 3 at all. You want to take the first shot available. There's still enough time to score and then foul again. Get another possession.
Jackson with a touch up high. Ashton Langford. Now for Diallo. Long range. Off the front iron. Controlled by the Hoyas. Edwards has to foul. He fouls Govan with 14.3 to go.
Well, Georgetown was solid defensively. They forced the ball away from the rim, protected the paint, and they got a great contest on Diallo, who kind of took a bailout 3. With still a lot of time on the shot clock. Ed Cooley not happy with that possession, but Georgetown, you got to give them credit. They defended it well.
Govan has had a major day. And at the line, he's 6 for 9. The senior from Queens Village, New York, with 14.3 to go in the second overtime, makes the first.
He's been awesome. The best big man in the conference is not even close, showing why he's so valuable to this Georgetown team.
All net on the second, and a 5-point lead for the Hoyas. Ashton Langford hustles it up, and it's kicked. That one off a shoe with 9.5 to go. And Georgetown leading 95-90.
And if you're Georgetown, you don't need the foul here. You want to Use the clock as your friend. You're up. You have a two-possession game. It's a two-possession game. You're up 5 points.
Edwards with a three. Rebounded away by the freshman guard. Akinjo on a foul. 5.2 left. And they can put this one completely out of reach at the foul line.
Well, this freshman, James Akinjo, continues to prove his worth, and he's played a complete game today. Certainly, in my opinion right now, the Big East Rookie of the Year. I know it's still early, but he's been the most impressive with his consistency.
He makes the first. Well, you've got to love his composure.
Well, look at Pat Ewing on the sideline. He took his tie off. That's how exhausted he is.
Yeah.
He took his tie off.
He's not alone. He missed the second one. 96-90. Ashton Langford launches. It spins out at the buzzer, and that's it. In double overtime, Georgetown wins the Dandy against Providence, 96-90. Georgetown now 2-2 in the Big East. Providence 0-3 in the conference. Our final score again, double overtime. Georgetown 96-90 over Providence. Now we send it to